class, this is Professor Morris, and today I just want to give a quick example of portion size for our topic of portion control. We're going to turn our attentions to breakfast cereal. We're going to use Lucky Charms. Nothing against Lucky Charms. It's actually one of my favorites when I do eat cereal. But what we would notice when we see the food label, and notice the picture to my left, that a serving size of Lucky Charms is 3/4 of a cup. Okay? That 3/4 of the cup equates to 110 calories and 10 grams of sugar. Those facts will come into question later. As a visual representation, here is 3/4 a cup of Lucky Charms, one serving. In the bowl to my right is that single serving, 3/4 of a cup of Lucky Charms. But I'm willing to guess you've never truly measured out the amount of cereal that you've eaten to match the serving size. And I know when I look at that bowl, that's not enough to quench my hunger or even my desire. What is more likely to happen is the bowl on my left. I would fill the container that I'm using, or the vessel that I'm using in this case, to eat my cereal. The bowl on my left contains 4 servings of Lucky Charms. That amounts to 3 cups of Lucky Charms. When we multiply all that out, that's 440 calories and 40 grams of sugar. All right, class, moving on. Another way that we can influence portion size is by choosing a container that the serving size fulfills. So for example, the example on my right, I have a smaller dish that still contains that 3/4 or 1 serving of Lucky Charms. It actually looks pretty full. And by comparison, it fills up this small container as much as the 4 servings of Lucky Charms fill up the larger container. Next, we can also see in sample 2 that might be defined as a typical cereal bowl or a typical bowl, and that it too contains a 3/4 of a cup of the Lucky Charms cereal. But it looks a little bit more full than the example on my left, which is a larger container, clear container. And when we look at that, it doesn't look near as full. However, all 3 samples in this case contain 1 serving of Lucky Charms cereal. All right, class. Now, the next thing that we want to look at is the amount of sugar. In this case, added sugars. And again, we're back to our bowl on our right, which contains a single serving of Lucky Charms. That's 3/4 of a cup. That 3/4 of a cup of cereal amounts to 10 grams of sugar. I know that might be a little difficult to kind of see, but lucky for you, you guys are going to experiment with this. So if I pour this out, you can see that visual, right? Pretty good amount of sugar. However, by using a larger bowl or trying to fill the bowl to its capacity, we also increase the amount of sugar. So in this example, we now have 4 servings of Lucky Charms, right? So that's 3 cups of cereal, that's 440 calories, and here's the big one, 40 grams of sugar. So I'm going to use this other dish, and here's our representation of 40 grams of sugar. I actually measured this out, and I'm going to pour this in there. Now, our recommendations on added sugar intake are about 25 grams per day.